And good Tuesday morning, everyone. You're listening to the Inside Drive podcast. This is episode 21. We were talking a lot about the Arnold boys golf team on Tuesday. And just like that, we've got the head coach of the Arnold boys golf team, Luke Logan, in studio with us today. As always, I got to go through my sponsors, some other quick things before we get to Mr. Luke. I want to mention Panhandle Credit Union. As you guys hear every episode, the quality relationships they have with our community is what Panhandle Credit Union is all about. Whether it is sponsoring an event, donating to a cause, providing loan options, or setting people up with great banking products, Panhandle Credit Union is here to serve those who live, work, worship, or attend school in Bay County and other surrounding counties. Together, Panhandle Credit Union builds community. Visit panhandlecu.org or swing by any location to join. And then, of course, can't forget our good friends over at Golf Plus. Alan Watson just renovated his store, new floors. They got a second simulator in there now, which means there may be some, future golf lessons or some other things. But I know what it means. It means there's more opportunity to get into that simulator, whether you just want to hit some balls on the driving range or go play some golf all over the world. Golf Plus now has 2 simulators over there. As y'all know, they're featured in Golf and Golf Digest magazine as some of the top club fitters in the country. And as you guys know, they certainly deserve it. Their fitting studio and club repair areas are second to none. Really the only place to go here in Bay and the surrounding counties. If you need some club repair, you want to get fit for some clubs, or just buy some stuff off the rack, buy some Christmas presents, whatever it may be. I do know that they have all shoes are discounted right now. All in-stock shoes are discounted. Once you walk right into the store, you'll see them all there in the front side. Again, brand new floors, all that cool stuff over there with Allen and Golf Plus. So if you need anything to do with golf, go visit Golf Plus right there in the Edgewater Shopping Plaza next to Firefly. You can give them a call at 850-249-2726 or online at golfplusretail.com. We appreciate Alan for being a sponsor. One more time, I want to give a shout out to Addie Gorman, the American Charlie Athlete of the Week. Every week we pick a local athlete who has, excelled in their sport. And as we mentioned on Tuesday, Addie had a great last week in their first 2 playoff games for the North Bay Haven Bucks. So she's getting a $50 American Charlie gift card. If you haven't been over to American Charlie's, you're certainly missing out. They've got fried chicken, pot roast, wings, burgers, shrimp, and all those American classics that you could certainly enjoy. They have 15 TVs for all your Saturday college football games and, of course, your Sunday NFL games as well. One of my favorite things is they do military and first responder discounts all the time. They just debuted a new lunch menu. They also have a lot of live music all the time. You can just head over to American Charlie Grill and Tavern on Facebook so you can see what they got coming up. You can also go to AmericanCharlies.com as well. But I want to give a huge shout out to Dave and everybody at American Charlie's for sponsoring our Athlete of the Week competition, recognizing some of these great athletes right here in Bay County. Do want to mention, obviously World Series Game 5 was yesterday. I don't want to say it was surprising, but the Blue Jays got the win 6-1, and Trey Yesavage, who we talked a little bit about last week, who started Game 1 for the Blue Jays, who got the win in that one too. He's only 22 years old, and he was still in the minor leagues on September 10th. After last night's performance, he struck out 17 batters in 2 World Series starts. His 12 last night set a record for sure, a realistic example for everyone else. And of course, their bats were fire right off the get-go. The Blue Jays' first 2 hits off of Blake Snell were both home runs to kind of get the quickest 2-0 lead imaginable. The second home run was later in the game the third home run, was Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s 8th home run of the postseason. Remember when everybody thought the Jays were mistreating this superstar? Now Toronto heads home with 2 chances to win a ring. That is no means a guarantee, as the Dodgers, after all, they're trying to go back-to-back. Yet reaching this point remains both improbable and wholly impressive. Game 6 will be on Friday. What do you guys think? Blue Jays going to get it done, or is the $300 million plus team going to make a nice little comeback?
Well, as a Braves fan, back in 92, 93,
kind of hard to pull for the Dodgers, right?
My gosh. Yeah, I got to go for the Dodgers here, Mulvey.
So kind of hard to pull for the Dodgers, then you say I'm going to go with the Dodgers.
I'm going with the Dodgers.
They're going to win?
Yeah.
What about you, Luke? You think the Blue Jays can finish it off up there in Toronto? You think the Dodgers are going to send it back to L.A.?
can't say I'm a huge baseball watcher, so
I mean, it's a crapshoot regardless.
I'm going with the Dodgers.
Yeah,
That's
Shohei.
definitely the smarter decision for sure.
Yeah.
Shohei's obviously had a great postseason, but these pitchers for Toronto and the bats have really gotten hot. Obviously, leading off the game last night with 2 back-to-back home runs. I think that was the first time, either in World Series or postseason history, that something like that has happened. So obviously that gives you a lot of spark right off the get-go, especially to do it on the road over there in LA. Heading back to Toronto, kind of a weird World Series because everybody hates the Dodgers, but at the same time, can you root for a Canadian team?
No.
I think everybody's rooting for the Canadian team now that they have that they have an opportunity to close out the series, 4-2. Yeah. All right, let's bring in the Arnold head boys golf coach, Luke Logan. Luke, thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course, what got you into coaching the Arnold Marlins boys team?
Actually, Jay over here, he
handed it off.
Kind of threw it.
Did you ask him, or did you just tell him he was going to be coaching the golf team?
He didn't really give me an option because the season was starting in like 2 weeks. So,
that is as Jay as I can. I have known Jay for a long time, and I'm not surprised that that's how it went down.
I was excited to do it though. He asked me to do the girls last year, and it was the same thing. Like the season had already started, and it was like, hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to handle them too. Do you want it? And I was like, I mean, I guess, but we're not going to be able to get it done in time. So I kind of expected it a little bit this season, if we're being honest. But yeah.
Well, and it's kind of cool because some of the members, on the Arnold golf team are, members out there at Bay Point. So it's kids, you see all the time, which is, kind of cool. Maybe made it a little easier to transition into that, coaching position.
Yeah, I pretty much knew the starting. I mean, I knew the starting 5 before the season started. Like I already knew that they were going to be some of the players on my team, and 2 of them being former employees at the club too. I mean, I already knew them more personally too. So,
had you ever coached anything else before in your career?
Other than just teaching clinics and stuff at the golf course, I mean, I taught like Pee-wee soccer.
I mean, that's kind of, similar a little bit. I mean, that's just herding cats at that point. Obviously, golf's a little more structured, but coached a couple really young soccer teams as well. And, it can be challenging, but it can be a lot of fun too. Yeah. Very rewarding.
Well, I was going to say,
go ahead,
kind of like with, he's got 4 seniors. 4 seniors. And I know, obviously, Paul Zuchner was their coach, in 9th grade. We all know Paul, right? Coastal Carolina guy.
Yes.
Like you.
Paul.
Yeah. But
he's a wild guy.
I felt kind of bad, kind of like transitioning the coaching role into Luke, knowing that these kids are going to have 3 coaches in 4 years, but kind of looking back on it, Zuch was a very good coach for the 9th graders. They were just getting in and all that. And then I feel like maybe I transitioned, well into that role. And then Luke, I think Luke just, he exemplifies a lot of patience. He's out there coaching with them. I see him out there practicing and he's trying to dial in their shots and stuff like that. So looking back on it, I know 3 coaches in 4 years for these kids. I hated that.
I think you can get away with it a little more though with golf. If it's football, baseball, one of those kind of sports, I think that's a little more challenging because of the culture and all that. Obviously, culture is important in every sport, but golf it may not because it's an individual sport where you play on a team. So I think you can get away with multiple coaches because
at the play style could change in another sport.
Absolutely, the coach may have a completely different philosophy when it comes to offense, defense, whatever sport you're playing.
Right.
But golf, it's kind of up to you outside of when you're having your team practices to continue to work on your game, continue to work with whoever your swing coach is and stuff like that. So I get what you're saying. It may be a little challenging, but I think you can get away with it more in golf than probably any other sport.
Yeah.
Luke, kind of recap your season. Where you guys started and where you've come to now. Obviously, a fantastic season, probably one of the best, I'm guessing, boys golf seasons in Arnold Marlin history.
Yeah, I mean, I'm new, so I don't know exactly what it all looks like.
But y'all won a lot of regular season matches, right?
We won all of them except for one out at the country club. The season.
That's the home course advantage for Mosley.
Yeah, we had a rough day, and they all showed up to play that day. I mean, it was blowing like 20 miles an hour that day, so they shot kind of a little bit higher than what we'd been shooting, but to do that on a windy day, I mean, they deserve to snag a win from us.
For sure.
But yeah, the season, I'd say they went past what I was kind of expecting them to do.
Nice.
At least score wise, they've just been consistently shooting lower and lower and lower.
And that's what you want, right? From the beginning
Yeah.
of the season to the end of the season, you want improvement. I
Yeah.
think that's fair to say with any sports team in any level, any sport, whatever it may be. If you can develop and get better throughout the season, that's really, as a coach, all you could ask for.
Yeah, and I mean, my main goal for the whole season, I mean, I want to get the seniors to state and everything, but I really wanted to watch them shoot under par as a team, which we ended up shooting 3 under in one of those tournaments.
That's
as a team.
fantastic. Was that the one where, one of them shot 32 and the other shot 34?
Yeah, we had 32, 34, I think a 36 maybe, and then a 37. Is that 3 under, 4 under?
That sounds right.
I don't know.
Well,
something like that.
because with just the 2, you're sitting at 4 and 2, so that's 6 right there. So if you got 1 over par, then
I think it was a 37, 38 then was what the other two
that
shot
would,
or something like
37,
that.
38 would make perfect sense. That would get you to that 3 under par, which is anytime you shoot under par as a team, that is
impressive.
super, super impressive.
Yeah.
You had y'all's district tournament. Was that last week?
Yeah, districts it was this week. It was on Monday.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And where'd y'all play that one?
It was at Fort Walton Beach Golf Club. The course was fun. I mean, it was the first time I got to see it. Our practice round was in the rain, which was very interesting.
With as much as it hasn't rained really over the last couple of months, getting a little taste of rain always throws a little wrench in there on, your normal, because you got to work with rain gear, umbrellas, all that stuff. It kind of puts a little more pressure on you when it comes to that. But y'all had a great round in the actual district tournament. I believe y'all finished second behind South Walton, which I guess is probably kind of expected with South Walton's, kind of year in and year out, one of the better programs in our area.
Yeah. I mean, they finished how they were expected, and then Ethan was right there, hanging on, trying to get the win too.
Yeah.
Nice, very, very cool. So what's next for the team? I'm assuming regionals and trying to finish top 2 to move on to Howie at the Hills. I believe is still where it's at.
Yeah. We got regionals on Tuesday. This coming Tuesday. We'll head out on Monday. Get a practice round out there. It's in Fleming Island in Jacksonville. So we'll drive out early Monday morning, get a round in, and try to get our top 2.
Ironically, the team that you're trying to beat, it sounds like. I mean, like they were hardcore last year.
Gotcha.
They finished number 1 in district last year. So I'm sure that's going to be the team to try to beat.
Yeah, I think based off the rankings, I think we're 5th, which I don't know if our ranking really correlates exactly what they're capable of shooting. I mean, all the teams can probably say that too, but I mean, the fact that we had them shoot under par in an event, not too many of those other teams probably really had that at all. So I think they have the potential to be a lot better than they are. Yeah.
Cool. So you've got, if you finish first or second, you would move on to the state final tournament.
Yeah.
But they also, I was reading about it too, they also have some like at-large bids opportunities for, some other teams. And I feel like y'all have, not that you want to put all your eggs in that basket. You'd obviously like to play your way into the state championship. But I feel like you guys have had a good enough season that if you don't make it, you might be able to get an at-large bid as well. Because what did they take? 4 other teams that didn't qualify already, and 4 other individual golfers that didn't qualify on those top 2 teams that get to go to the state final?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think we're pretty close because I mean it depends on how they play because their score will be included from that regional round.
Gotcha.
So if they are right on the edge of making it and they play a good round,
that might help bolster that outlaw.
That'll help boost it up closer to getting that bid.
But obviously, you'd like to just play your way in. That's the simplest, easiest way. Have you guys been kind of scouting that golf course ahead of time, like telling the kids to go check it out online and all that kind of stuff? I don't know if that's something we do in high school golf. I know I never did that growing up.
No, I didn't either.
The internet really wasn't full force when I was.
They definitely haven't been scouting it at all. I have been scouting it. I mean, just for the district tournament, I mean, I had them all had a course book that I drew up and they were supposed to be marking in it the day before in our practice round, which obviously was raining, so I didn't expect a lot. But I definitely have a course book that I've been drawing on like through 18 birdies, and just gonna have them try to be as dialed as they can be.
Kind of visualize how they want their round to go before they get out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I did in college. I never did it in high school, and it might just be because that's what I got taught in college, just being kind of like that next step up of like how to be prepared for a tournament. But I mean, even if they look at it for half the round and they're not that locked in on it, I mean, like if they look at half the round and it happens to shave a shot or two, I mean, that's plenty
a big
in golf.
deal. Yep.
Yeah,
That's a big deal
So-
for sure. How much has your college golf experience helped with you being a high school golf coach?
I think that's all I've been teaching pretty much is what I did in college, honestly. A lot. And I mean, I learned a lot from my college coach and someone that's been playing golf since I was 3.
Yeah.
And having a bunch of different swing coaches and everything. Really didn't know what to expect in college myself of what I was going to learn. But getting to just doing different drills and done some like team drills with the players where they we used to do the 3 feet, 5 feet, 7 feet, and you have to make 8 putts in a row, but you do that with one of your teammates. So I might have made 4, but my teammate only made 3, and now we restart. And
I'm back to the beginning.
I'm holding my teammate here now, so there's some added pressure that you typically don't get in practice.
Absolutely, a little more accountability when it comes to you doing your job and you executing what you're supposed to do. I'll ask you both this question. What is the hardest thing about coaching golf? What makes it different than coaching other sports? And you probably neither of you guys have coached other sports, but you can probably get a little bit of, the feel of, because golf, like I said earlier, is a team sport, but it's, based on individuals all having, scores together for a team score. Whereas, basketball, football, baseball, soccer, all the other kind of major sports, it's, you have to work as a team out there on the field. So what do you guys think would be, is the hardest thing about coaching golf, maybe compared to other sports or just in general?
Well, and that's the challenge of it, right? Is it's individual based, but you're a team, and how do you do that as a coach? Bringing in a team and making it about the team versus individual. Because I feel like, kind of putting yourself in the shoes of a 17-year-old is like, I remember as a 17-year-old, like your number one guy might shoot 72 and you might shoot 76 or whatever. And, you want to beat that number one guy, but he's on your team. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's so weird.
But, I remember growing up playing high school golf, I think that internal competition is actually good because, not only you're competing against yourself, but you're trying to have the best score week in and week out.
Yeah.
How much does your guys, competing against each other help drive them to be better golfers?
Yeah, they definitely, the top 4, any of them could show up to a tournament or practice or anything and be the best scorer out there. And so that does help because, for me, I didn't have someone in high school that pushed me at all. So like looking back at it, like them getting to have that, like I wish I had that.
Yeah.
It definitely, if you show up to a tournament and you don't have to worry about your team beating you or anything like that, you definitely get more relaxed and stuff. And we probably saw a little bit of that as a team with some of our like regular season tournaments, just kind of being expected to win most of them, that they kind of get relaxed, or if they're not playing that good, that they start to just, I'm not going to stay as locked in as I should because we should win as a team regardless of how I play.
Now, do you think that's a positive or a negative?
Oh, no, I think, that was a negative for at least the season wise, but within the team, them trying to fight it out, like if they were playing good, that they're wanting to try to be the medalist. And I know with Brady and Ethan for sure, we're definitely like wanting to prove who's who.
And I think, that little competition between your two best on the team is certainly good for both of them because not only they're competing against the other teams, but they're competing against each other too, which is going to push them and drive them to get better.
Yeah.
But a true leader of the team, in my opinion, is somebody that like that leader may not be playing good golf, but they're a cheerleader for the people that aren't. And I think that's true leadership. And that comes with age and wisdom, but that's the hard part of it is being that leader and not being the best, performing the best, but acting as a team leader.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Because you have to have, I mean, golf is so challenging enough as it is, and you're not going to shoot, 2 or 3 under par every time you go out there. So, obviously you're going to be a little disappointed, but you still have to be there for your team, like you were saying. And that's,
and not go pout.
Yeah. Because so many people in golf, they just want to, lower their head and, be super disappointed. I mean, which happens in every sport, but golf more than any other thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Luke, tell us about some of your guys. Obviously, you mentioned Ethan and Brady, but kind of talk a little bit about your team. I know you're heavy senior laden, so obviously if you continue coaching, you're probably gonna have to find ways to fill those spots because you have such all 5 starters are all seniors.
Armand's a junior, so I mean we'll lose 4. We got 4 seniors. We'll lose. Yeah.
That's why Jay gave you the coaching job because he knew it was gonna get tough as time goes on.
Yeah, so I mean, we got the 4 seniors. I mean, a majority of the team, I tried getting them in to understand the junior membership at the golf course.
Yep.
So we can get them practicing all year. I know from my experience, all of my teammates, most of them did not touch their clubs for at least 6 months. Like they might have brought them out 6 months before golf season, but that would have been at the most. So trying to get these players to realize that golf is not a sport that you can just drop your clubs for 6 months and come back.
It's not like riding a bicycle by any means.
I mean, you might find a little bit where you stand up on the bike for a second, but you're not gonna be doing any jumps. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like playing quarterback in football. You can't just not continue to work on your craft while you're not playing games. Otherwise, you're going to come back and look really, really terrible. So, golf is so much like that as well. When is the regional? You said coming up this Monday.
Yeah, it's on Tuesday.
So that's right. You're leaving early Monday morning, playing a practice round, staying the night, playing on Tuesday. Yeah, and then you're coming right back home on that Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll be coming right back. Yeah,
it's a quick little turnaround for the guys, but obviously that drive home will be will be a lot better if you guys qualify for state. A little more adrenaline coming through.
They will keep me awake on the drive if they play good. That's for sure.
Exciting stuff. Yes. Well, obviously, good luck to you. Good luck to all the boys on the Arnold Marlins golf team. We'd love to have a state appearance down there at Howie at the Hills. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if you guys don't qualify, the FHSAA will make the right decision and bring you guys in as an at-large bid. But just take care of business and don't have to worry about that. So, yeah, and at Fleming Island Golf Club, and I know Arnold's soccer team has seemed to play Fleming Island quite a bit in their times they've been to the state championship and all that stuff. So maybe the Arnold High School has a little advantage over Fleming Island. We're going to go with that anyway, though. So,
well, and they're playing a much better. I don't know Fleming Island, but the one in Lake City. I'm not knocking the one in Lake City last year, but man, it was pretty brutal
for a regional place. Yeah,
I've been hearing that from some of them. Yeah.
So I think Fleming Island, you're probably going to look at good course conditions over there. I think anything in Jacksonville is probably going to be in pretty good shape.
I would think so for sure.
Yeah.
I would think so for sure. Some news out of the college football world. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but the Louisiana governor rips Scott Woodward, who is the LSU AD, and says he will not pick Brian Kelly's replacement. As y'all know, Brian Kelly was the most recent head coach to be fired from a big-time program. But he said he's not going to let the AD pick because he was responsible for, Coach O and Brian Kelly and his $53 million buyout. But he was also responsible for Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. I want to say his buyout was closer to $80 million. So when you have these state universities, the governor can kind of appoint a board to kind of be in control of those particular hires and stuff like that. But, when your AD is not picking the next football coach, what is the AD actually doing then? What is
Makes you wonder.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like Office Space, right? Where, I forget his name with the stapler.
The stapler. Yeah. I love the stapler. I watch the squirrels. I watch the squirrels.
He didn't really do anything. And that's kind of, what is the AD at LSU doing? Obviously, there's a lot more sports than just football. But the governor coming out and saying, you're not picking the next football coach is pretty wild stuff out there in the college football world. But also, a lot of people will be like, is Coach O going to come back? He's not going to come back. Coach O had so much baggage with him. Obviously, he's down here all the time in 30A. But as much as he wants to go back to LSU, I think it would be a disaster if they brought him back. All the stuff with the girls. He was just he was a great.
What happened there?
he got involved with some stuff. I don't know it exactly on the top of my head, but that's, part of the reason, why he got fired in the first place, because he did win a national championship for LSU. Now that team was a highlight team, obviously with Joe Burrow. They had all those wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. So I don't know how much it was Coach O or just how much the actual talent on the football field was. Another Texas team, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but Steve Sarkisian, aka Sark, he went out and said if he got an NFL coaching job offer, he would jump on it in a heartbeat. Texas was the preseason #1 team. Now they're 6-2 with a brutal schedule the rest of the way. They could easily go 6-6. So it kind of sounds like he's, a little cop out, be like, I'm not happy with, how it's gone so far this season, but they got Vanderbilt this weekend, then Georgia, then Arkansas, then Texas A&M. They could easily lose. They'll beat Arkansas, but they could easily lose 3 of those games and go so that would be 7-5 on the season. But the fact that he's already come out and said that if he got an NFL, coaching gig, he would take it. Obviously they were preseason #1. He's got Arch Manning. Arch Manning really hasn't performed like everybody thought he would.
Yeah.
But what do you think about, the head coach of Texas saying that, if he gets an NFL job offer, he would jump ship really quick?
They're just jumping from frying pan to frying pan. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Getting
Is
paid
the
a
grass,
lot of money. I don't know if it's greener on the other side, but with these buyouts that these guys get, and when they get fired, they get so much money. I think on Tuesday we talked about, I think it was $169 million are owed to college football coaches that have been fired so far this year.
And I saw something where Brian Kelly's making 31 cents a second for the next 6 years through that buyout.
$54 million buyout.
I mean, like, fire me now.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell?
I mean, obviously they'll be rather coaching, but,
yeah.
it's like the safest, if you get fired, it's like, great, I got fired, but you know what? I'm getting paid, like you just said, 31 cents every second.
And then you get double income when you take the NFL job, right? So you're dinks, you're double income, no kids.
Yeah, I just don't know if Brian Kelly would get an NFL job, but there's obviously we talked about it in depth on Tuesday, a lot of big profile jobs out there right now. And kind of the as the kids say, the guy that's, him, so to speak, right now, everybody's focused on the main character is Lane Kiffin. Obviously he's got this big time offer from Florida. LSU is probably going to offer him as well. Now, Ole Miss probably will put a big extension out there to try to keep him. Obviously, he's been successful at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Do you think he's still on Ole Miss by the time the next season starts, or do you think he's at Florida or LSU?
They'll probably hold on to him. I mean, what are they ranked top 10 right now? Ole Miss.
I think they might have fell out of it slightly but obviously the Georgia game was really close.
But somebody opened the can, and I think it was Napier, right? Once Napier was gone, it seemed like there was 8 coaches that lost their job right after that.
And there was a few before Napier, but not as high profile as Napier. But yeah, the coaching waterfall has really gotten going, and I think we're still going to see a few more. I don't think Auburn fires Freeze this year because, if you fire Freeze with all these other openings, who is really going to come? So why not just wait? If you're going to get rid of him, I would give him another season, not because I think he's the end-all, be-all, but because it would save the university money because you're going another year into his buyout, even though his buyout's, fairly low in the grand scheme of things. I think it's $12 million right now. But there may be better coaching opportunities next year to bring somebody else in because, in my opinion, if you were to fire Freeze right now, who are you going to get? How can you compete with Florida? How can you compete with LSU and some of these other places that have, huge booster money and can obviously, pay a lot of money? So in my opinion, I would wait to get Freeze if you're going to get rid of him next year.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like Napier, right? Napier's out. We got a big game, Georgia-Florida game this weekend. And so, I'm sure everything's going to be on the up and up with Florida. Obviously, it's like, oh, we got rid of Napier now, so everything's good and golden. Whoever's taking over, if I'm Florida, I'm coming out and I'm getting like a taunting flag right off the get-go.
Just to fire everybody up?
Yep, just to fire everybody up. And just wait and see, Ryan Mulvey. Florida and Georgia will come down to a field goal touchdown.
You think so?
Or field goal win.
It always does, right? Regardless of how good. That's one of those, all these rivalries. Regardless how good each team is, they always go down close.
Always.
But we got another good slate this week. And obviously, you were just talking about Florida, Georgia, but we've also got Ohio State, Penn State, which obviously Penn State's having a really tough year. That's another job opening out there. There's another coach out there. James Franklin's floating around out there as well. But Penn State's 3-4 on the season. Ohio State trying to stay undefeated. Don't think this one's going to be close. This spread's 20.5 for Ohio State, and I don't think there's been a spread like that in this game in a long time, and it's a home game there. One of the games, I already mentioned it, but looking forward to this one. I've kind of jumped on, I don't know if it's a bandwagon, but I've really kind of jumped on the Vanderbilt Commodores. They're just so fun to watch. Texas is only a 3.5-point favorite. The only thing about this one is it's on the road for Vandy, and Vandy has not played as well on the road. They've lost one game, and that was an on-the-road game against a top opponent. I think it was Alabama, if I remember correctly. But Texas, a 3.5-point favorite against Vandy. Again, Texas could, if they drop this game, they'll drop to 6-3, and they still got Georgia, Texas A&M, and LSU, I believe, to still play. And you got Miami against the one of the ACC leaders in SMU. Miami is favored at 11.5 in that game. I would jump all over SMU plus 11.5 in that one. And then Georgia, Florida. I know you said it down to a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia is a 7.5-point favorite
That's not a
in
lot.
that one.
That's not
More
a
than
lot.
a touchdown.
Yeah.
Give me a score prediction for your dogs.
I'll go 24-21, and Georgia kicks a field goal to win it. We'll give Georgia.
Walk-off field goal.
Yeah. What about you? What you thinking?
I think Georgia wins handedly in this game, despite all what you said. Yeah, I mean, It's about time that Georgia had a decent first half.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had so many first halves where they're either behind or the officials give them a fumble recovery for a touchdown against Auburn. Otherwise, they would have been down by 2 scores at halftime. But they always find a way to come back in that second half and win the game. I think this game, Florida gives them all they can in the first half, and then again they pull away. So I got Georgia winning that one like 35-21, something like that, in my opinion. I know it's usually a lot closer, but I think it's time Georgia makes a statement, throughout the entire game rather than just in the second half.
We'll definitely win with the amount of alcohol consumption Saturday versus Florida. We always win that battle. That's for sure.
That's one to be proud of.
That's one to be proud of.
Another top 25. You got Oklahoma and Tennessee. Oklahoma and Tennessee both 6-2 in the ACC, trying to keep up with Texas A&M, and USC. Nebraska is another good one. So we've had like 4 weekends in a row where we've had some really, really good college football slate stuff going on. Want to remind everybody, coming up tonight as well, we had Jason Hedden and Coach Jonah Hammond with us last Thursday. You've got the Arnold and Panama City Comedy Kicks for Comedy. It's another fundraising show that Panama City Comedy is doing. This time it's benefiting the Arnold Marlins boys soccer team, who are trying to go back-to-back state championships, and every dollar counts. So if you're looking to have a nice, fun Thursday night evening, you can laugh all while donating to a wonderful cause. That's Kicks for Comedy. You just go to PanamaCityComedy.com. Tickets are still available, so get out and check that out. A lot of fun going to a Panama City Comedy show, and of course, even more fun when it's helping benefit one of our, kind of elite sports programs here in Bay County. Also want to mention all the girls' middle school basketball games getting underway tonight. UA going up against a tough opponent in Breakfast Point Academy, who won the Jamboree tournament this past Saturday. Were able to beat UA in their game in the tournament. But we're traveling to BPA, one of the better basketball teams in the area on the girls' side. So again, I'm always going to report on middle school sports, especially when my kids are involved in it. So, get used to it. I always talk about middle school sports, obviously, because we're knee-deep in it right now. We've got an NFL game coming up. It is Thursday night. It is the Ravens and the Dolphins. Ravens dropped a big game last week to kind of keep them in the hunt. What's crazy is they're still favored to win the AFC North, despite being 2-5. But the Dolphins are 2-6, having a tough year. Your doppelganger is kind of on that hot seat right now.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel, with still being the Dolphins head coach.
Yeah.
Not sure if he's going to survive this year or not, but he hasn't been fired yet, so that's probably a good thing. I think one of the things, if they fire him and then the interim guy does a good job, then do you have to hire the interim guy, or can you still look outside? NFL is kind of the same thing as college. There's not like a bunch of really good head coaches out there because they're already coaching on teams.
But wouldn't McDaniel make one heck of a college football coach? I feel like he would.
You would think so. I feel like he would relate to the
Yeah.
to the college students a little bit better. Maybe he's the next head coach of LSU or something like that.
That'd be awesome.
He's definitely a quirky dude, but
He is a
a
bit
heck of an
quirky.
offensive mind. A lot of people say maybe he comes back to the Niners as the offensive coordinator again, and we got the whole band back together. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, Ravens, Dolphins. Ravens are favored by 7.5 in that game, which I think is probably a pretty fair spread. Lamar is back, but he didn't play this past Sunday. What was his name? Huntley played for them. So really he couldn't play 4 days ago. What's the difference now on this Thursday night game? Is his hamstring fully recovered? Because obviously Lamar is a great quarterback, but he's a great quarterback when he can scramble and run as well. Is that hamstring going to limit him? How good is Tua going to play? Is A-Chain going to be able to, kind of keep them going? The Dolphins desperately need to win, but I think the Ravens need to win even more. What do you think about this game tonight, Jay?
How handedly did the Dolphins take care of the Falcons on Sunday?
I mean,
oh my
but the
God.
Falcons have lost 30-0 to the Panthers. Obviously, the Niners came in and ran all over
Yeah.
them. So is it the Falcons just aren't that good, or are these teams just playing really good football when they play the Falcons?
Yeah.
Kind of tough to figure out.
I just don't see, typically with the Dolphins scoring as many points as they did on Sunday, I feel like it reverses tonight, and they only get maybe a field goal or two. So I'm definitely taking the Ravens tonight.
Would you lay the 7.5?
That's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points. A touchdown in the NFL is a big spread.
I would, though. I would.
The over-under is 51.5, and I don't think the Ravens are going to score a ton.
Nope.
I don't think the Dolphins are going to score a ton. So that would be a best bet for me for Thursday night.
Yeah.
Would be taking the under in that game. Two other best bets. I got Zay Flowers, who's got his quarterback back, so I would take the over 66.5, receiving yards. They have to get the ball to Flowers if they're going to win this game. So that 66.5 seems kind of like a low number. And, of course, Jalen Waddle is going to have to be a big factor if the Dolphins compete in this game. His over-under receptions is 4.5, and I feel like that's a low number. So I would take Waddle over 4.5 as well. So Zay Flowers over 66.5 receiving yards, Waddle over 4.5 receptions, and then the under. I think the under is probably the biggest, the one that'll hit the easiest. But you could probably parlay all three of those together and get some pretty decent odds. And if you use Hard Rock, you might even get a single game parlay boost of 30%, something like that. Some other big NFL games coming up. You got the Falcons at the Patriots. Patriots obviously leading the NFC East over your Buffalo Bills, who got a big one coming up this weekend as well. The Falcons going to bounce back against a good Patriots team, and Drake May is obviously, if you guys listen to Keith on Tuesday, Drake May is having a fantastic season and playing some of the best quarterbacking in the entire league right now.
I mean, is Penix Jr. coming back this week, or is he out? I mean, I don't know.
I have no idea what his injury status is, but yeah.
They're cold, man. They're cold.
I don't understand why Bijan Robinson only touched the ball 7 times last week. If I was the Falcons, I would treat Bijan like the Niners treat Christian McCaffrey, and just your offense goes through him. You get him as many touches as possible. He's such a great runner when it comes to being able to read where the holes are and all that.
Did you have Keith on Tuesday, or
We did.
Did he talk about it a little bit?
No, he avoided the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
At all costs in that one. Falcons are always one of those teams that on paper look like they're going to be so good. They have so many weapons, good defense, and then they just kind of let you down. I know why you divorced him a couple years ago.
The Atlanta Hex, man. I'm telling you. Don't be an Atlanta sports team.
That's certainly true.
It's rough.
Let's see. You've got some other. I know the Saints have now moved away from Spencer Rattler and are giving Tyler Shuck, the rookie, the start against the challenging Rams team this weekend as well. Cardinals, Cowboys, Monday Night Football coming up. The Chiefs and the Bills will be headlining the afternoon slate. Right now, the Chiefs are a 2.5-point favorite. When you divorced the Falcons, you got married to the Bills.
I did.
How important do you think this game is for the Bills to win? They've been winning the regular season games over the Chiefs I think once in the last 8 years they've beat them in the regular season, but then when it gets to the playoffs, the Chiefs have got the upper hand. Chiefs playing some of the best football as of late. They've got Rashid Rice back, who is, if you do DFS, needs to be in your lineup.
Right.
He's just, that offense goes through Rashid Rice, and because they're running backs, their running game is pretty much non-existent right now. Patrick Mahomes is certainly a good one to have as your quarterback in your DFS stuff as well. Chiefs are a 2.5-point favorite, over under 52.5. So many of these Chiefs-Bills games turned into shootouts, and are a lot of fun. Your Bills going to win that one?
I think so. Yeah, I would take the Bills.
I mean, obviously the Bills have a good running game with James Cook. I feel like if they can run the ball on the Chiefs, that opens up a lot of stuff for them to get going in the passing game. So you take the Bills to win by 2.5?
I would. Yeah.
Okay. There
How
you
about
go.
you?
I'm going to stick with, riding the Chiefs right now, who have been, just so strong the last few weeks, because everybody, once they didn't obviously have a good start to the season, but, they got going, and then all of a sudden people are like, oh, the Chiefs, we're going to write them off. And they're like, no, we're just, just kidding. We're going to turn it into high gear. And I think they continue that against the Bills coming up this weekend. We got to get to some afternoon or good morning debriefs here real quick. Jay, I sent you a link that you can probably maybe get me a couple today. It'd be nice for you to start.
About to get crazy, Luke. About to get crazy.
All right, well, there was a story about this tractor trailer that overturned with a bunch of monkeys that had like hepatitis, COVID, and herpes, and there was one that they couldn't find, but then the university that they came from, they came out and said that they didn't actually have those diseases. So I don't know what that was all about, but that was going to be one of the stories we were going to talk about today. But now the university said that they don't really have them, so it's not as much of a story now. I think there's still one of the monkeys on the loose. That whole story, when I first read it, sounded like the movie Outbreak. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
Outbreak.
Dustin
Patrick Swayze?
Hoffman.
No.
That's when there was somebody got bit by a monkey on a cargo ship and had the Ebola virus.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just went all over the place. It kind of came out about the same time as Congo, not to keep referencing Congo, but
Right.
another monkey movie that was kind of scary at the time for sure. All right, I'll start us off, Jay. Start on this side. A pet dog was eaten by a crocodile in Florida. Yes, a crocodile, not an alligator. With every passing week, the line between Florida and Australia becomes blurrier. They are essentially lands cut from the same cloth but situated on opposite sides of the globe. And I say this as a born and raised Floridian. In the latest Australian-esque incident out of Florida, a pet dog was eaten by a crocodile in Brevard County's Satellite Beach. Yes, an American crocodile, not an alligator. And this was on the central Florida coast, not in South Florida, where crocodiles are more prevalent. The incident took place in Brevard County, Florida, which sits on the Atlantic coast to the east of Orlando and includes Melbourne, Cocoa Beach, and John F. Kennedy Space Center in Port Canaveral, as well as Satellite Beach. This is not a part of Florida that many associate with American crocodiles. Alas, they are there. Case in point, this one spotted hundreds of miles from the Florida Keys in Melbourne 2 summers ago, which caused a huge stir. According to WESH News, neighbors near the incident claimed to have seen the crocodile before. They reported the crocodile was seen and recorded swimming with the dog in its mouth down a canal nearby. At that point, the FWC officers were called in to wrangle the crocodile out of the water. Confirming this wasn't the first time the crocodile had been seen in this part of Florida, WESH News says the croc had been relocated 3 or 4 times, but kept returning to the same canal in this part of Satellite Beach, Florida. That will no longer be the case, as the crocodile was taken into custody and will be now kept in
Handcuffed.
Handcuffed. That'd be tough to handcuff an alligator behind its back. I don't think you can get his arms behind them.
Ryan, why are they so ornery? That's what I want to. Why are they so ornery?
Because they got a bunch of teeth and no toothbrush to brush them with.
That's right.
No, you're wrong, Colonel Sanders.
That's right.
One local resident, Zach Spurlock, says he'd seen this crocodile countless times, telling WESH News it had zero fear of humans. When I saw that behavior, I knew something was going to happen. Here in Florida, there are specific circumstances for what qualifies as a nuisance alligator. Presumably, criteria extends to alligators which for all intents and purposes are like alligators here in the Sunshine State, just much rarer. The state's nuisance alligator program states an alligator is deemed a nuisance if it is at least 4 feet in length and the caller believes it poses a threat to people, pets, or property. There are situations when smaller alligators wind up in places that are not acceptable, such as swimming pools, garages, etc., and must be removed. Again, let us assume this applies to crocodiles as well. In this case, it certainly has, as the crocodile is being permanently moved to captivity in order to prevent any future incidents. So not just gators, crocs too, anywhere in the state. Did that give you enough time to find one?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, good.
Well,
It's the
first
time
of all,
in like 5 weeks.
I got you. Well, first of all, let's debunk this. Is it Halloween or Halloween?
Great
That's
question.
the question.
Halloween.
Huh?
Halloween.
He's from Idaho.
I'm from Nevada.
Or Nevada. Okay, Nevada. Yeah,
Which everybody says Nevada.
Yeah.
It's Nevada. I have family out in Nevada, so I've learned to say it correctly.
So it is Halloween.
I say, growing up in the Northeast, I say Halloween,
Yeah, I do too. I say Halloween.
which is, you're from the South, so maybe
Yeah.
maybe there's one thing that's not said differently between the Northeast and the Southeast.
It's a hallway. So
it's a
Halloween.
Halloween.
Everett, give us how do you say Halloween?
Oh, he's right down the middle.
Yeah.
Wait.
So that
You
doesn't
say
that doesn't debunk anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. Yeah, maybe there's not one correct way to say it.
I think
Maybe-
if you say Halloween, I think you're the same person that says cats up. You say cats up? You- okay.
Yeah, wait, cats up. I didn't even know what you were referencing. I was like, I've never heard of cats up before.
What
Catch
is
up.
that?
Catch up.
Oh god. This theme is Halloween. Do you remember the 1991 Geo Metro?
Of course.
Did you drive one?
Never drove one, but I can certainly picture it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like a little golf cart.
Looks like a little Matchbox car.
Yeah. Well, this guy's 91 Geo Metro crapped out on him, and he decided to put a 1,917-pound pumpkin 14 stories high and just drop it on his old Geo Metro.
Who grew a pumpkin that big?
1,900 pounds.
14 stories high is kind of more wild for me than 1,900 pounds. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I don't know about all this AI stuff. That's a whole nother-
That's the Odd News website, right?
Yeah.
That may be legit then, because I've never come across an AI one on that website yet. Anyway, maybe that's the first one.
It was at Hee Haw
He's fact-checking it
Farms.
for us.
The pumpkin was dropped onto the 35-year-old compact car, caving the roof in with a spectacular fashion. It's just something me and my wife have talked about for a long time.
It is real.
There you go.
It's
Okay.
not 14 stories tall, though. He dropped it from 14.
He dropped the pumpkin from 14 stories.
Oh, yeah.
But it
Yeah.
is a
I didn't know there was confusion on that.
I didn't either.
We just thought a 14-story pumpkin.
Oh, no. Oh, that'd be crazy.
That's my point. That's what led to him looking it up.
I said, I'm pretty sure that's AI generated. I was like, I didn't know pumpkins could grow that big.
You need a big farm to grow a pumpkin that big.
That's right.
That would produce a lot of seeds. You need a commercial oven to cook all those seeds. Imagine carving that pumpkin.
Yeah.
You would need a chainsaw to get through that. I'm sure the pumpkin. I mean, even at 1,900 pounds, I'm sure the pumpkin walls are, feet thick.
Yeah.
That
Do
almost
y'all
sounds,
like pumpkin pie? Or
I don't like pumpkin.
I don't even think I've ever had it.
I always do pumpkin seeds because you can season
Yeah.
however you want.
Ah,
I like
gotcha.
pumpkin seeds.
We just made some pumpkin seeds last Sunday.
Nice.
And they're delicious.
I bet. What do they taste like?
A little pink Himalayan sea salt and some Old Bay as well.
Ooh. Oh, that
It's
sounds
kind of a-
good.
Yeah, it is. It is good.
Sounds really
Except
good.
pumpkin seeds, you just eat the whole thing because it would be a really big pain in the butt to try to get the pumpkin seed out. I mean, obviously, sunflower seeds, you can do the old crack
Right.
with your teeth and then spit the seed out, but you can't do that with pumpkin seeds.
Yeah.
At least I haven't tried to do that. But
Oh, goodness. What else you got there, Mulv Dog?
I mean, I sent you a whole link.
Oh, you want me to keep going?
I would like you to give me a break so I can find another one.
Monkey gets loose inside Spirit Halloween store in Texas.
That one I would definitely read because
Oh, my goodness. It's a pet monkey.
Thanks for clarifying.
Right. That
I
would
didn't
be
think
cool.
a wild monkey would just walk into Spirit Halloween.
I mean, who has pet monkeys? I mean,
People have them.
Yeah.
I think Florida, you don't even need a permit for them.
what?
I know
Oh, that's right.
kangaroos you need a permit, but I don't think monkeys you need a permit.
David Hayes, man, that's his. That's what
The
he
kangaroo,
wants.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta have a permit for a kangaroo.
A pet monkey got loose from its owner at a Spirit Halloween store in Texas and spent more than 30 minutes swinging from rafters and poles.
That'd be a good time to watch.
Arlene Pinkston said she and her daughters were shopping at the Halloween store in Plano, Texas when they spotted the monkey. My daughter looked up and she said, "What in the world?" And she's like, "Is that a real monkey?" And I looked up. Well, it's got a diaper on it, so I guess it's real.
I mean, I could see that question too because you got all that animatronic stuff in Spirit as well. So
Pinkston recorded video of the monkey running, swinging loose through the store. Spirit Halloween employee Jimmy Harris said the monkey was apparently spooked by an animatronic display and fled from its owner.
there's been a lot of those videos where like raccoons and possums and stuff like that have been going on people's porches and cats too, and they see those animatronic things and they jump up. So that's probably what happened to the poor monkey. Maybe he was just trying to find a Halloween costume and he got scared by the clown that jumped at him or something like that.
It'd be funny if he's like wanting to be a giraffe or something like that. It's like
Go trick-or-treating with your pet monkey. Is the monkey going to eat the candy, though? That's the question.
That's right.
All right, go ahead. You can finish.
Let's see. The Plano police officer responded to the store towards the end of the
Police always have to deal with the crazy animal situations.
I'm telling you.
I don't think that's ever on their job description, but they always have to do it. Gators, crocs, monkeys,
Yeah.
kangaroos, cows, horses, whatever it may be. They're always having it. Goats.
Yeah.
You had the goat in the
I had
pool
a
that
goat
the
in my
You called
backyard.
the police because you couldn't get the goat out yourself.
It was a Sunday, so the animal control wasn't working, so the goat was arrested. I saw this live and was put in the back of a police car.
Did they handcuff the goat? Or cuff the goat, I should say.
They did. I mean, they hogtied it. They hogtied the goat. Put all four. Yeah. It was crazy, man. Absolute crazy. But no, I came back from vacation one Sunday, and there was a goat swimming in my swimming pool, and this happened about 20 years ago, and so we had to call the cops. It's the craziest thing ever. But no, this is crazy. I mean, a monkey.
Swinging around in Spirit.
Man,
You never know what you're going to see in Spirit Halloween.
no doubt. No doubt. What are you going to be for Halloween, Mulvey?
I'm actually going to be, I actually got a costume this year. Remember when I was the Penguin a couple of years ago? That thing was so hot. I'm going to be Song Yu from the Squid Games.
Oh,
Liam loves Squid Games too, so it was kind of a hat. He's being a scary clown because he loves scary movies. So
oh God, dude, that's a phobia. By the way, there's adults out there that will see a clown and they will get in a fetal position.
it's a
there's
a name for it for sure.
There is.
I forget what it is. He's obviously not him and all his little buddies. They're all going to go as different scary clowns. So it'll be fun for him.
Yeah. I still think you need to do the what is it?
I don't remember.
You and Beth went as the film director.
Oh yeah, the Girls Gone Wild.
Girls
one.
Gone Wild. Yeah.
Hey, we got top 3 at Spinnaker that year. The big Toys for Kids Halloween bash.
You're looking hot though, man. I'm telling you, you're looking hot.
I needed to work out a little bit before that.
Why didn't you shave? You should have shaved.
My beard, because I mean,
Well, I'm talking other areas.
what, my belly?
Yeah.
Why are you looking so closely at my belly? Yeah, we've had some fun costumes. The one I shared this morning was when she was pregnant with Ryan, so she was a nun, and I went as Jesus. And we got in. This was when I was working at a golf club, and we got invited to a Halloween party at one of the members' houses. And it wasn't a costume party. We walked in, and it was really embarrassing. But everybody there was really cool, so we just stayed there with our costumes on, and everybody had a good laugh. So it was funny.
That's a whole nother level right there.
Yep.
I mean, I would have walked
Carl
out.
Connolly, I'll never forget his name. He's the one they did a big Halloween party every year, and they invited us that year. But it wasn't a costume party, which was fine.
Yeah.
We still had a good time. But yeah, Beth is very creative when it comes to
I see
hair
that.
Halloween costumes.
I love it.
So it was a lot of the kids did it, and then we did it a few times as well. So you done with yours?
Yeah.
All right, I got kind of I don't know if this is that crazy or not, but while you're looking for another one, in China, diver Wang disappeared during a routine river exploration, and what followed defied all odds. He had unknowingly entered an underwater cave system and became trapped more than 100 meters deep. Rescue teams worked around the clock, hearing faint knocking sounds in the darkness, but unable to find him. Inside a tiny air pocket, Wang survived 5 days without light or food, catching raw fish with his bare hands. His oxygen tank fell to 4%, forcing him to take a desperate leap into the black water, flashing his light in one last attempt to be seen, and it worked. When he finally surfaced, exhausted but alive, his first words to rescuers weren't tears or panic. He simply asked, "Do you have a cigarette?" A moment of raw humanity and humor after an unimaginable endurance. It's like, do you remember
That's
You
crazy.
remember the story of those kids that got trapped in the cave system? If you've never watched that documentary, it's a good one. I believe it was in India or somewhere like that. And they were on, I don't know if it was like a field trip or something like that, but they meandered their way into a cave system, and then a big heavy rain came and flooded all those caves, and it took all these rescuers like months to get them out, where they'd have to go all the way in, put a kid on their back, and a couple kids would pass out and go unconscious, so they'd have to like put an oxygen mask on them
Yep.
and work them all the way through the caves.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a very intense and like scary documentary. But yeah, it was an interesting one. This sounds a little bit familiar, maybe not as extreme, but first thing he wanted was just a cigarette when he was done. Hasn't breathed any clean air or regular air,
give me a
in a
cigarette.
long time, and he wanted to, get some of that going in him. You got one more, and then we could probably.
Well, that's
call it a
like
show.
back in the day. You could just open up the septic, like the septic tank, and just walk down in. I mean, you can't do that no more. Not that I ever tried it, but I mean,
Kind of sounded like you had some experience.
no, but you could get caught down in the septic. That's
I don't know if you'd ever catch me going into a septic tank, but
No.
so they used to be openable.
I mean, we used to go into the flood channels in Vegas, and some of them go pretty far.
Yep.
And they get pretty dark.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
Little adrenaline rush.
yeah.
I mean, you might see a few homeless people and stuff like that as a kid going down in there. Might be a little scary.
Hey,
How's the adjustment been from moving from Sin City to Panhandle, Florida?
It's been I don't know, it feels the same. Everyone travels out here for vacation.
Yep.
So I feel like, I mean, at least in the golf industry, it doesn't feel that different,
Yeah, yeah.
which sounds crazy, but
Right.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, both
similar.
very tourism-driven areas. So yeah, I could see where
Yeah.
that would be very, very
Yeah.
similar. Obviously, what you can do in the area is certainly a lot different from there to here.
That's true.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
golfers are a lot more tame here, that's for sure. I haven't kicked too many people off for being too drunk, that's for sure.
I'm sure that was
I've
pretty common out there.
Done that a few times out there for flipping a golf cart right in front of me. I'm like, what just happened?
I don't know, Lou. A
Yeah.
few months ago, we could really talk about
We
something.
really don't want to talk about that. I can't talk
It's funny
about.
you mentioned that.
Did you bring some of that Vegas excitement over
Yeah.
here to Panama City Beach?
Let's just say I saw him a few months ago, and he's like, "Man, I'll be back. I'll come play a couple of holes with you. I got to go get this nine-some off number 14."
Nine-some?
It was at least a nine-some, wasn't it?
I don't even know how many were playing. There was 8 of them.
That's
well,
the
next
joys
thing-
of being a
them.
golf professional is you always have to do that dirty work where people, they just try to take advantage all the time.
Let's just say it was a weekend when we were hosting a bunch of baseball teams, and there was maybe some baseball coaches out there, and yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. We'll leave it at that, but
Maybe they were playing a big old Calcutta and they had to watch each other play.
I guess. But Luke just kindly said, "Hey guys, y'all can't do that." And
They're like, "Come on, we're keeping
no,
up."
They were like, "No, yeah, we can." And then you know, the rest is history. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, between
I don't know
the joys of being a golf professional, for sure.
Oh boy,
For sure.
It was a new one for me.
you've seen it, hadn't you?
Oh, I've seen it a lot.
I think the one thing that comes to my mind was that Saturday when there was a drunken individual that decided to use the bathroom. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't in the bathroom.
No.
Like it was like outside.
Yeah, that
And-
was a tournament. We had to call his business the next day because we gave him a shirt and a pair of shorts as well.
Yeah,
And it just tracked all the way into the restroom.
it sure did.
And then poor Miss what was her name? I
Oh,
wonder how she's doing.
yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah, because she had a seizure after cleaning that up,
she did.
and then she fell face first, and I think I think she was blind too. Miss, I can't draw a huge
Me
blank.
too,
Yep.
Mulvey. Me too. Yeah. I don't know.
It's okay.
But there's something always happening at the golf course.
Always.
Always.
Yeah, we used to host Hooters tour events at at the club I used to work at before Bay Point, and that the Pro-Am was always such a what show.
Yeah.
And we had multiple, we called them comfort stations out on the golf course, and one of them it was up on the ceiling and stuff like that. And low man on the totem pole, professional, had to go out and deal with it. But we've all had to do something like that coming up through the ranks. So I'll never forget that one. He was really disappointed when he came back in. He's like, it's everywhere. It's on the ceiling. It's on the doors. And he just wonder how all that happens. But, when you involve a lot of booze and, free food and stuff like that, you never know what's going to happen.
No,
The
you're
human
right.
body can only take so much, I guess.
Yeah.
But did you have one more? If you don't, it's no problem.
No, I don't.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Luke, appreciate you coming on, and obviously we'll be cheering you guys down there at the regionals. Keep us posted how you're doing. I'd love to update everybody on you play on Tuesday, right? Drive down on Monday, play on Tuesday.
Yeah, I believe
So-
that's the 4th, if that sounds
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Because it's hard to find stuff on golf. It's not on Max Preps, and what is on the FHSAA app? Is that
Yeah.
open to anybody?
Yeah, it is. It's on. I know they have like their I Wanamaker app that's linked with the FHSAA app
Gotcha.
too. That gives it. But it is the app. You can't just pull it up on the website. It doesn't pop up.
Gotcha. Yeah, they make, because I try to always find golf stuff, and it's always they make it really,
tough.
really hard to find.
Yeah.
You think it would also be on Max Preps, where everything else in
Yeah.
Florida high school is, or actually that's national. Max Preps is a national
Yeah.
service. But yeah, good luck to you guys over there in
Thank
Fleming
you.
Island. Hope you finish first or second so you can move on to the state finals at Howey at the Hills. Appreciate you coming on today. Appreciate you talking with us, Jay. As always, appreciate you coming in on Thursdays.
Anytime.
Trying to get Jay Chapman to come on next Thursday so we can have update where we picked all of our division leaders and
Yeah.
see where we are halfway through the season. Y'all have a great rest of your week. There's some high school. I think Mosley's final regular season game is tonight over there at Tommy Oliver Stadium. Got a bunch of high school games finishing up next week as well, and then we'll keep you updated as the playoffs roll around. Want to give one more shout out before we go to the North Bay Haven girls volleyball team. They did not win on Tuesday, but they took it to 5 sets and I think lost by 2 points in that one. They've been back-to-back Elite Eight. They've made the Elite Eight the last 2 years. Obviously fell one round short of going to that Final Four, but 2 amazing seasons there for the Lady Bucks from North Bay Haven. Looking forward to seeing how they do next year as well. They got a lot of returning players coming back to the team. But again, we appreciate y'all tuning in. This will be posted. It's live on Facebook, live on YouTube, but the final project will be posted on Apple, Spotify, and all the other podcast services that you may use. And of course, it'll be posted final on YouTube as well tomorrow. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend. Hopefully, good luck to your teams. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday.